I was asked when was the time that I had to be resilient. When was the time I had to be connected to others? My resilience had to be there. I would say that was when my mom was on life support. I had to be connected to my children, to my husband, to my siblings, family members. I had to be flexible. My mom she had given me instructions how that if she were ever in that position, how I was supposed to walk through that situation. She never wanted to remain on life support. She was a believer, and she felt that if indeed it came to the point where a machine had to keep her alive, she believed that if the machine was removed and she did not continue to breathe, that it was her time to transition from this world. I had to, at that time, be able to make reasonable plans and decisions that would accommodate what my mom wanted, but yet have understanding and compassion for my siblings. Because when I was there at the hospital, everybody hadn't arrived there yet. Some had to come from different places, from within the 50 states. Then I had to be able to communicate what was going on with her medically, what the doctors had said, what they told me, but also give it to them in a way in which they could understand it and come to terms with it. Because I had heard it and I had my time, so I had to understand that they also needed that time to be able to do that. I had to be able to manage the feelings that I was having at that time, which were definitely strong feelings because, your mother is your mother. And yet at the same time, navigate amongst my children who were, some were not even teenagers yet. And I had a couple that were older than teenagers, but I had a couple that weren't. And I had to be able to have conversations in those age groups, but also have conversations in the age group with adults, my siblings that were older than me and some that were just a little bit younger. So I had to have confidence in myself and confidence in the things that my mother had shared with me and taught me by the way she lived her life, and knowing that absolutely I could not play God, because when you're in that situation, you can absolutely feel like you're playing God either way. You're playing God if you keep them on the life support. You're playing God if you take them off. But knowing what someone has requested of you, I had to have a resilience to know that if I did what she requested, that was showing her loyalty and love. And I would be able to live with it. So after I did it, in the midst of it, I took time to make sure all the siblings and everybody, my sister-in-law and everybody, they were all there as well. So I had to allow for everybody's emotions and feelings and thoughts and, internal struggles with all that was happening, and that was going to be the end result if we took her off. And when we did, I had to stay resilient because everybody didn't process it the same way. And one brother got there, and he had gotten there, and we kind of had to give him time to catch up, and everybody was like, I say, but the same way you needed that, they need this. And so I went through all of that, and I carried it. And what happened afterwards is when I felt, after we had buried my mother, everything was done. Everything was done. Everything was done. No, and let me correct that. We didn't bury her. My mother also told me that she wanted to be cremated. So that was the other thing that I had to have some resilience about. I had some relatives that came from other states that came to where we were for the funeral. When they got there, there wasn't a body. So I had to kind of deal with that and their processes of that. So after the life support situation and the cremation, afterwards is when I found out where my resilience was. What did I do? I had a hard time. I had remained resilient, but I had to go to another level of resilience. And I found out that it's okay that sometimes you're not going to be on the 10th peak in every area of your resilience. But the thing of it is, I was able to bounce back. So I did have resilience through it, but I had to get another level and mount some more resilience. So I hope that answered the question. The time that I had to remain resilient was during the time of my mother's transition from this world. Yes, I hope that answered the question. Thank you.